Will, are you going to be making it home soon?
It should be another 10 minutes before I get home. Why are you asking?
I haven't quite finished making dinner yet, so when you get home, can you get in the shower first?
What? I don't want to get cleaned up before eating. I always eat the moment I get home from work, and then take time to relax in the shower. I tell you this all the time, right?
I'm sorry. I just ran a little late today and couldn't get around to starting dinner until now.
So you've just been messing around at home all day again? Ever since you've become pregnant, you've just been having the time of your life doing anything besides your responsibilities.
Today, I just happened to feel a little off, so I took a nap. I can't seem to get my body into good shape until the afternoon most days, so I don't get around to chores and cooking until then.
That again? Saying that you're not feeling well, or that moving around makes you want to collapse? You can't just sleep all day because of those little excuses. You really love making a fuss over nothing. Must be great being a wife, huh? Getting to rest all day due to just feeling a little queasy? To the rest of us working people, we don't have the ability to do such a thing, or we'd lose our only form of income.
The doctor told me that on days I'm not feeling alright to take time off and either lay down or go to sleep until I'm feeling alright. He said there's no need to force myself to do anything while pregnant.
Are you sure you're not just putting those words in that doctor's mouth? Right now, there are other women that are pregnant with their babies, but unlike you, they don't just sit around all day crying about feeling a little sick. And all my friends with loving pregnant wives still get lunches made for them by their wives, and get to come home to clean houses. When I look at the lunchbox you pack for me, it sure is full of pre-made crap. We are all in the same situation at home, yet they get to have a loving wife to care for them still.
Don't compare me to the wives of all your coworkers, please. Everyone experiences pregnancy differently, and in my case, the symptoms are just a tad bit worse.
You are all pregnant with babies, yet you think you get to lay around all day at home and put off your chores? That doesn't seem right to me. I'm gonna start thinking that you're just being lazy. And let's be honest, you've always been a bit slower than these other women that my coworkers have. So start learning how to work, even if you feel a little off or don't have the drive to work.
Even though the doctor told me not to?
Doctors love telling people to take time off and all that crap. In reality, nobody takes off as much time as you have been, and they all get right back to work. You're supposed to get all your chores done in a timely manner. And if you have time between then and making me dinner, you can relax a little. But you seem to do the opposite, and relax all day first, and get to your chores and cooking far too late in the day.
I'm sorry, Will.
Stop trying to make this all seem alright for you when your husband is the one working hard every day at work and has to come home exhausted. I'm the only one out of the both of us that's actually tired right now and needs a break. Now please, start acting like a wife that I can brag about again to all of my coworkers, okay?
Hey, do you think you can get home from work a bit earlier today? Ever since this morning, my body has felt really off.
Off? What do you mean?
I don't feel right standing up, and I'm having cold sweats every couple of minutes. To be honest with you, I think something's really wrong. I'd like you to come home and take me to the hospital to get this checked out, please.
I'm going out for drinks tonight, so that's not happening. Take yourself to the hospital if you really need to go.
Again? Yesterday and the day before that, you went out for drinks all night.
Well, today I'm going out with a different group, so that's why.
Why are you going out every night like that lately, drinking a bunch out on the town? We're getting really close to having a baby, and you have to be back home to care for everyone.
What does you having a baby have to do with me going out for drinks?
When we have our baby, you're no longer going to be able to go out every night to drink and play around town. Are you sure you're going to be able to drop doing all of that the day the baby comes?
I don't plan on changing anything, even after the baby is born. Why are you saying a bunch of meaningless crap to me right now, Gwen?
Wait, but once I have the baby, we have to start raising it together, right?
Your job is raising the baby. Why do I have to be the one to give up my time to care for the baby you're carrying? I have no plans of changing the life I live right now, and that's final.
I'm sorry, Will, but nobody continues to live their life as though they are single after their wife has a baby. Everyone ends up having to put a bit more time into their family once a baby is a part of it, and you'll have to do the same.
No way. I think everyone in my shoes continues going out and having a good time. There is not a single man around me that does chores instead of his wife.
Well, what about Steve?
Steve? I don't know what he's up to, but I rarely talk to him anyway. Never really comes out drinking with us after work.
That must mean that Steve is back home with his wife helping out, right? That's probably the reason why he never goes out anymore with all of you to drink.
Well, because of that choice of his, he's no longer able to grow within the company.
Why not?
Going out to drink with your coworkers is just like doing your job at work, right? And since he doesn't have it in himself to come and join all of us, he's never going to get promoted, and will stay a base level employee forever. And can you stop comparing me to other men at my job?
Then what was that all about when you compared me to all your coworkers' wives?
And that was because there is something wrong with you making you think you can slack off. I'm working my job and doing everything that I'm supposed to do. I'm nothing like you.
Well, whatever. Can you please just come home for a little bit to take me to the hospital? I'd like some help with the chores and such as well. And honestly, I just like you home so that I don't feel like I'm all alone here.
You think me being by your side will make a difference? There's no way me being beside you will make you feel any better. I'm not some doctor or anything.
I'm not asking you to come home and fix me. I'm just talking about being here as company. What would happen if something were to happen to me and nobody was around? You wouldn't want something bad to happen to me or your baby, would you?
And here we go again with you over-exaggerating. You worry yourself too much. You told me before that all you had to do is take a nap until you feel better, right?
You have no idea if I'm alright or not when you're at work all day and then going out for drinks after, right? Since you're not a doctor or anything? Are you not worried about your own wife and baby when I'm this late into my pregnancy?
Jeez, recently you've really been an annoying little brat. Why are you continuing to try and get me to come home to you?
Well, that's because you're never home anymore. Even on your days off, you go out with all your guys and don't stay home around me. Do you think that next weekend you can stay home with me and the baby?
Now that you mention it, next week I am taking the whole week off work. I had a lot of paid vacation piling up and had to use it somewhere.
So then, you're gonna be home all week, right? Will you be able to come along with me to the doctor's to check on the baby?
No. I already made plans for all next week. It's been a while since I had the week all to myself, so I thought I'd get out and stretch my wings a little.
You're going out again? How much longer are you going to act like you don't have a family at home to worry about?
I'm the one that gets to choose what kind of life I live. Now you stop talking back to me about it, you jobless loser. Now, I have a drinking party later, so I need to get back to work. Don't text me about anything that has nothing to do with me for the rest of the day, alright?
Please. Can you just let me back inside, Will?
No way. You sit outside and think about what you've done, you idiot.
But the rain is getting worse and worse out here. And it's freaking cold.
Is that so? Well, I hope that it becomes the perfect medicine for you.
Why are you doing this to me, Will? Kicking me out of the house like this, it's not right for a husband to do that to his pregnant wife. And I'm not speaking metaphorically either, you literally kicked me. It hurts still.
This is all because you don't do your work and you just sleep around all day. What is with that huge mountain of clothes in that nasty-looking kitchen?
I was waiting for you to come home late into the morning, and I started to feel worse and worse while waiting. I wanted to take some time to rest before getting to work on all the chores I still needed to do. You're the one that went out all day and night to play with your friends, so why are you getting this upset with me about those chores?
I came back home all happy and feeling good, and that feeling was ruined by you not getting any of the chores done. Seeing a house like this when I walk in makes me pissed. You have to have this place cleaned up before I get home. What kind of wife do you think you are, leaving the house a mess for your husband to come home to?
I'm sorry, Will. I'll make sure to get all of it taken care of as long as you let me back in.
Not letting you back in for now. All you continue to say are excuses, and I'm not having any of it. You're gonna stay outside for the day and think about what you've done.
But the rain is really bad right now. If I begin to freeze too much out here, it'll be really bad for our baby.
Well then, you'd better find somewhere dry to wait out this storm out there. Because you're not coming back in the house for the time being.
Where do you think I should go, though? I don't even have my wallet on me or anything, so I can't go to a hotel. And today is one of the worst days I've felt in a long time. So please let me back inside.
Go on about how you feel bad again. You're always going on about the same dang excuses whenever you don't want to do something. Well, I'm not going to go easy on you this time. I'm going to head to bed for a bit here now, and I don't want to see you inside this house. Stay out until I say you can come back. Will, you're at your house right now, correct? I'm home. What do you want from me, Steve? Hey, you get your butt to the office right now. If you're at your house, then you can get here in a little bit, right? What? I'm on my paid time off at the moment, so... Did you not even know that it was my time off right now? Ah, did you happen to mess something up at work and you need me to help you? Well, I'm sorry, Steve, but I'm not your daddy anymore, so get your own work done. Paid time off? Is that what's going on here? Well, listen, Will, after what you've done to your wife, you're in a tough spot. Huh? What's going on with my wife? She just came to the office a second ago asking to be let in. And she was drenched from head to toe and shivering. Huh? Why, wife? Are you sure about that one, Steve? I'm not joking. Why is she there? I hear that you went and kicked your wife out of the house, literally, and told her to stay out? She's pregnant, Will, and you're doing stuff like that to her? And let's be real here. Even if she wasn't pregnant, you can't kick someone like that. I never kicked her. You sure did kick her. There's a huge bruise on her, and it's not something you can get from a small fall. And she's been telling me you're the one that kicked her. What the hell does she think she's talking about at my work? She came here to talk with us about how bad of a husband you are, and what to do about you. And because of this, everyone here is speechless. And we're not shocked by her, but by what you've been doing to your pregnant wife. Why are you all so upset with me right now? You don't have to believe a word she's trying to say to you right now. Can you just kick her out of there and send her back to me? Ugh. I'm a bit disappointed in you right now, Will. I understand that you were the kind of guy to leave all this housework to your wife, but to think you're actually this awful of a husband? And what the hell do you know about me, Steve? You have no reason to think poorly of me, buddy. She's just making up a bunch of crap about me, because I didn't do a dang thing to her. But look, you go out drinking every night with the younger workers here. This whole time you've had me worried about whether your wife is okay or not because you're never home for her. Let me tell you right now that what you're doing is not right, Will. At this point in time, you seem to be doing nothing to help your wife out at home and with her baby. Dude, you haven't told any of the higher-ups yet, right? The CEO and such? You know that this is going to be brought up with them. This is a smaller company, and there aren't that many of us here. So when something like this happens, it's going to find its way up the ladder one way or the other. And our CEO is a very compassionate man, so I feel as though he's not going to like what he hears about this. And when he does make a decision on what to do, I think the chance of you ever getting promoted again will fade away forever. What? You go and stop my wife right now. If she keeps going on with all that strange talk, I'm going to be in hot water. I'm sorry, but I'm not stopping her. If you really need her to shut up, then get your butt in here and do it yourself. But that chick's not going to listen to a word I say to her. If she had just listened to everything I was telling her before, she'd have never gotten any of the company involved in our private affairs. So in other words, your wife doesn't trust you enough anymore to go and listen to what you keep saying to her anymore? Perhaps the whole reason she didn't want to listen and talk to you anymore is because you were the one stopping her from doing so? Why do you have to be involved in this? You and I have been working together for a long time now and have no reason to be butting heads here. Why are you willing to jump on my wife's bandwagon only after coming into the office and saying a few words? Right now your wife has a terrible fever, and her legs are shaking a whole lot, and we heard her just a few minutes ago vomiting in the toilet. She can't even get up to walk anymore, Will. Kicking your pregnant wife out of the house when she is looking like this is just unthinkable, man. Huh? She's really feeling that bad? She keeps telling us she's been feeling this bad for a long time now. Why have you not been caring for her at all? It's difficult to be pregnant with a baby. But look, Steve, you told me before that when your wife was pregnant, she really didn't have any issues like mine. So I just assumed that my wife was faking all those symptoms to get out of having to do any chores or cook for me. Jesus. You really are an idiot, Will. Huh? You have to understand that everyone reacts to pregnancy differently. It's the same thing as having a cold or getting food poisoning, right? Everyone develops different symptoms to them. My wife might have been able to handle her pregnancy pretty well, but that might have been due to me being there to help care for her. Now, for the time being, you get over here and apologize to her. No, I have to get back to work here. I heard about everything from Steve. What the hell did you think you were doing?
Ah, so you heard about that.
I heard about that? I sure as hell did. What the hell were you thinking going to my office where all my coworkers are?
Well, I didn't have anywhere else to go for cover at the time. Did you want me to go to the police station and have them get involved instead?
You'd think I'd want something like that? But the fact that you have this company all riled up now is just... Go do something about it.
I can't believe what I'm hearing from you. I had no other choice, Will. I was feeling awful, and still am, yet you kicked me out of the house and told me to stay away. And it was in the middle of a huge and freezing downpour. I asked myself why all of this was happening to me. I just walked and walked in the rain thinking about that until I looked up, and there was your office building not too far ahead. And I just thought that they'd be at least willing to help me there, so I walked in.
But I'm telling you that you've caused all kinds of problems now for your husband and the company he works for. This is a problem for you and I to handle, not all of my coworkers to listen about.
I had no other choice, Will. They were at least willing to listen to me about what happened, and they were the ones asking all the questions in the first place. And in the end, they all told me they really had you down wrong. So that's why I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one that thinks you're messed up. I'm sure that now you understand that what you did to me was really screwed up, and nobody does that to their wives, right?
All right. I get that what I did was wrong. So please, come back to me. Or at least leave my office, please. Then I'll make sure to go to everyone there later and apologize. I'm already on my way actually to explain all of this to them.
Nope. The CEO has already told me that you are no longer needed here for the time being. Also, pretty soon here, Steve is going to take me to the hospital in his car. There's no reason for you to come now.
What do you mean there's no need for me to be there for the time being?
They're saying that starting tomorrow, you no longer need to come into work. And if you do show up, they'll have you stopped and turned away. They've told me that they don't need someone in the office who acts like a complete lunatic.
Does this mean that I'm fired? You're joking about that one, right?
I think you're on the chopping block now. I'd start working on finding a new job here, Will.
You're lying, right? Something like this should never happen.
It really should not ever happen, right? I was thinking that the whole time I was walking in the rain. I'm not going to be coming back to that house anymore. I'm going to be divorcing you and then heading back to my hometown.
Divorce? Hold on a second.
Are you finally starting to understand how I feel now that I no longer want to be with you? You never gave a crap about what I was saying to you all this time. I'm glad to see that I was right about Steve and a lot of the other married men. You just seem to want any excuse to not help me in any way while I'm pregnant.
I'm sorry. I just thought you were over there exaggerating your symptoms or something. I really didn't see you as the type of woman that got sick that badly.
Why didn't you think I could get sick? I told you time and time again that I was feeling terrible, right? I was even going to the hospital for it, and yet you still think that I was just screwing around about it?
I listened to what Steve told me about his wife, and just assumed you'd be the same. It was a total misunderstanding. This is all Steve's fault.
Steve didn't do anything wrong. If anything, he's been really caring for me. He noticed immediately that I wasn't doing well and started to do all sorts of things to help me feel a little better. Compared to you, he's a wonderful man.
If I'd ever really known you weren't feeling well, I would have been a whole lot nicer to you. Hey, come on now, Gwen. Can you please go to the CEO and have him rethink firing me, please?
You keep telling me that it was some misunderstanding, but that seems like nothing more than an excuse from you. We all know that you only worry about yourself this whole time and never bothered to care for the woman you should have loved and her baby. Well, I no longer want to care about you, Will. If you don't want to be fired, then you have to have a word with your CEO yourself.
But he'll listen to what you say to him a lot more than he'll listen to me. Please, I'm asking you with all my strength.
No, thank you.
This is all going to affect my life here. There isn't a whole lot of other companies out there like the one I'm working for, and I don't want to lose the benefits I have there.
But you're not going to like it here anymore either, since all the employees hate you now, right? Do you really think that you'll be able to continue working in an environment like this?
I'd rather that than being fired right now. And can you please stop talking about wanting a divorce? I promise I'll never do anything like I did today to you again.
It's too late, Will. I have been bearing all this pain for a long while now, and I've had enough. I was so hopeful that you'd have a change of heart sometime then, but you never ever did. That day just never came. And when you kicked me out of the house yesterday, I gave up on you.
I'm sorry for actually kicking you then. It must have hurt, right?
It's way too late for an apology like that. And it wasn't my body that got hurt the worst by that, but my heart. I didn't come all the way to your office because I wanted to today. I was forced to by you because you had no care in the world for me and made this my only choice. You have to come here and apologize for all the troubles you caused today.
Can you come along with me then, and the two of us can apologize to them? We're a couple, right?
The only reason you're saying things like this now is because you want the CEO to think better of you again. You don't regret a thing about what you've been doing to me all this time, do you?
It's not like that, Gwen. I seriously see that I messed up this time. I promise that I'll change after I'm able to keep my job, okay? I'll do my very best to be the best husband I can be to a wonderful woman like you.
That's not possible anymore. I don't even want to think of you as my husband anymore. If you want to do your best, then go right ahead. But I don't want to see you ever again, and so I'm going to shut up and get the hell away from you. After that, Will ended up flying over to the office and got on both his hands and knees to apologize for what he'd done. But the CEO ignored him and told him that no matter how he tried to apologize, the outcome would be the same. And just like that, he was fired from his job there. I ended up telling both my in-laws about what had happened and that I'd be divorcing Will. And my mother-in-law told me that they were already yelling at him about what he'd done to me and that he'd be disowned by them. Will, now having lost both his parents and his job, was left with nothing else and was forced to pay me a settlement in a divorce. And after that, he was left with little drive to find any good work and ended up with a place that hired him but would not pay him very well. And now he wasn't only having to face paying off his student debt, but would now have to pay child support to me every month. And with both of those things stacked on top of the settlement, he was living a very tough life. But when you think about everything he'd done to me, this was the correct outcome for him. On the other hand of this, I went back to my parents' house and had my baby in my hometown. And after that, I ended up receiving a surprise gift from Steve congratulating me on giving birth. He told me in the letter that everyone in the office was happy to hear that I gave safe birth to a healthy baby and that they could all rest easy now. And in return for the gift, I let everyone there know how happy I was for what they'd done. Even they could see that a man like Will was an awful man and a waste, and they were willing to get him out of their lives as well. And what a great company they are for doing that. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Hey Meg, are you there? I was just double checking that you were going to the doctor's office today, right? Have you already gone? Or are you still at home?
No, I already went actually. My appointment was this morning. What about you, Dan? Did you just start your lunch break?
Yeah, about 3 minutes ago. This morning has been so slow. I was waiting all day up to now so that I could text you. So anyways, how did the doctors go? Did they have anything to say? How are things looking?
Well, they did a sonogram and ran over some other tests, and it seems like the baby's doing really well. And since I'm this close to having it, they really aren't concerned about any kind of freak incidents happening suddenly. They said that as far as they could tell, I'm on track to have the baby according to when they said I would.
I see. Well then it all sounds like good news to me. That's such a relief. And just to double check, if the doctor said that you'd have the baby according to the date they predicted for you, would that mean we'd be looking at the start of next month?
Yep, pretty much around then, although you can never know for sure with this thing, right? So it might be a couple of days before or after that window, but I take it that you've already asked your boss for the time off, right?
Well, yeah. I did ask, but I was only able to get a few days off of work anyways. He told me that even though it's my break time, that I can't just take off huge amounts all of a sudden. But I'll talk to him about it a little more. Maybe at the very least I can arrange some kind of work from home deal or something like that.
Of course, you do what you need to do to make sure things go okay at your office. Oh, right. That reminds me, I meant to ask you, did you say anything to that coworker of yours? What's his name? Ted?
You're asking me if I said anything to Ted? Like what? What should I have said?
Well, it's just his wife actually came over not that long ago. She came over asking if I could teach her how to bake after I'd given birth. But she specifically asked if I could teach her how to make a bundt cake, even though I've never ever made one of those before.
Wait, really? Are you sure? You mean to tell me you've never made a bundt cake before? What do you call those little small ones that you made last year of the New Year's party?
Dan, are you talking about the cupcakes that I made? Did you really think those were called bundt cakes? They're two completely different things. She'd be better off just following some recipe online.
Well, I don't really see what the difference is. If you can bake one thing, you can probably bake a bunch more then, right?
I really don't think that's how it works, and I certainly wouldn't be comfortable teaching someone something I don't know how to do. But more important than that, you really have to quit fibbing to people about me, Dan. I mean, you tell people that I can do basically anything, and then they come to me asking for it.
And you really think that's all because of what I tell people about you?
Of course that's what I think it's all about, but do you have any idea just how much work I've had to do so that those people don't get disappointed?
Work? What are you talking about? What have you done?
I mean that you had that other friend who you told that I could speak Spanish to, remember? I don't speak any Spanish.
But that isn't true though. I mean, you told me you were pretty good at it when you took it in high school.
Yeah, and it's only gotten worse since. Besides, you told this person that I would teach them how to speak Spanish. But I've never once taught anything to anyone. Why do you keep telling these kinds of lies to people? Do you have any idea how embarrassing it is when I have to tell them that I have no idea how to do what they think I do?
Is it really that bad? I think that sounds kind of funny to me.
Well, I'm not laughing at all, Dan. I am really happy that you can talk about me freely to your friends and coworkers. But I'm only asking that you just tell them things about me that are actually true. Is that really so much to ask for?
Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have sent that last message. But, I mean, you really do so much already. And thanks to me, everyone in my office thinks that you're amazing. That's a good thing, right?
Dan, I think we've talked about this before, but ever since I was little, people always told me that I could do anything just because I'm pretty. And thanks to that, I actually suffered a lot of embarrassment when I couldn't do any of it. It was a lot to put on a kid, and I still carry those feelings with me, especially when your coworkers come around asking me for things.
Alright. I think you did tell me something about this before, actually. But anyways, if you're really so against seeing any of my coworkers, does that mean that you're going to miss the company barbecue that's coming up?
It feels like you're just trying to change the subject here when I'm trying to tell you about how I feel.
No, I'm not trying to change the subject. I'm just putting a pin so that we can talk about the barbecue really quick. I mean, I think some people are gonna bring their whole families, so I really would appreciate if you could come.
I'm really sorry, Dan, but I can hardly stand the smell of meat cooking as it is. I just don't see that happening. Besides, it's already so hot this summer, I don't think I could be outdoors for that long.
I guess you have a point there. But that really sucks. I was hoping we could have gone together.
Well, sorry it didn't work out this time. Maybe next year. And again, just please be a little more careful with what you tell others about me, okay? I understand wanting to brag about your wife, but let's keep the brags within the realm of things I can actually do.
Yeah. I promise to watch what I say around people. Jeez. Anyways, I've got to get back to work now. As for you, you're pregnant. So you really should learn to relax and take things easier.
Thanks for that, Dan. I'll do my best to take things easy from here on. Hope you have a good rest of the day at work.
Hey Meg, what are you doing right now? So happy to be at home at the moment.
Yep, I'm at home, pregnant as ever. I take it you've already arrived at your company barbecue then? You know, I can hardly even get myself off the couch as I am right now. But I hope that you're having fun. How is it over there?
Oh, it's really fun. Lots of people here and we are all having a good time. But I'm actually going to be coming home now. So get ready to leave the house when I get back, okay?
Wait, what? You mean you're already coming home from the event? And just where are we going that I need to get ready to leave? Where are we going?
Well, I'm going to be bringing you to the barbecue as well. So just get ready for me to pick you up and we can go.
Hold on a second, Dan. I thought that we already talked about this. I told you that I wouldn't be able to go. You said okay, remember? What changed since then?
Yeah, I did say that I was okay with it. But now I have people here who are asking where you are and want to meet you.
As in people from your work that want to meet me? People like who?
You remember last year how that new girl joined our company, right? Well, she wants to meet the wife that I've been bragging about this whole time.
I think I remember you mentioning something about the new hire, but I don't get why she would want to meet me.
I guess that she's just come to really admire you after all that she's heard. This is a good thing.
She's come to admire me? What does that even mean? How can she admire me if we haven't even met? I'm sorry, Dan, but I'm just really confused right now.
Well then, let me explain. Thanks to me, my whole office thinks that you're a beautiful woman, an amazing cook, and a jack of all trades. You must be so happy to hear all of this though, right? I mean, this is great for you.
Dan, I thought that we talked about this before. You said that you would stop telling people in your office lies about me, remember? Please, it's really embarrassing when they ask me about all these things that I just can't do. I know that you're just wanting people to be excited about meeting your wife, but it really does put me in an awkward spot.
I'm sorry, but I don't see anything wrong with what I'm doing. I know that you don't want to come and meet this coworker. I'm going to insist that you do come.
Are you serious right now? You're seriously going to insist that I go to this barbecue with you even though I told you I can't?
Please. Don't you care at all about my reputation here at the office? I am your husband and I am inviting you to this event. You are going to make me look really bad if you just turn me down, you know? How am I supposed to save face around here if you're not doing what I say?
Dan, you do realize that I am on the verge of giving birth to our child, right? I mean, I could go into labor any day now, basically. And I am telling you that I don't want to be standing outside at a hot barbecue and smell meat cooking all day.
Oh, come on. Do you really think the weather is so bad that something's gonna happen to you? You're going to be just fine. Don't worry so much.
Dan, you can't just brush off all my worries by telling me not to worry. Besides, this isn't just about me. This is about the baby as well. Aren't you worried about what will happen if I get heat stroke or something?
Of course I'm not, because that isn't going to happen. I'll be right there looking after you. Don't worry. If you ever get tired, you can just tell me and it'll be all okay.
Really? Because for some reason, I just can't bring myself to believe that.
You mean that you can't believe something your own husband is telling you? What's the matter with you? Besides, I need you here at the barbecue so that I could put you to work.
Put me to work? What does that mean? You aren't seriously going to ask me to do things there, are you?
You mean you really think you can just show up, eat food, and then go home without doing anything? Come on now, I've been telling everyone here about how amazing you are. You have to show up and do something to impress them. Think of how embarrassed I'll be if you can't even do that. Anyways, I'm already on my way over to pick you up. Ugh, you really have some serious nerve, do you know that? I mean, did you really have to go and faint in the middle of the barbecue and in front of all my coworkers? You totally ruined the reputation I set up for you. I don't even know what else to say except that I'm very, very disappointed in you.
Excuse me? You're disappointed in me? You've got to be kidding me. Dan, I can't believe you actually just said that. I am seriously getting sick and tired of you.
And just who do you think you are to take that kind of tone with me, huh? This is all your fault. If you didn't pass out, then my boss would have never scolded me in front of everyone. Can you believe that they put all the blame on me for what you did? Don't you dare try to spin this against me too. No one is spinning anything against you. Certainly not me, your boss. What are you talking about? You're not boss. Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Oh no, it's no joke at all. This is your boss speaking to you, or should I say, former boss. Since as of today, you are fired. Wait, Tony, is that really you? What on earth are you doing with my wife? Well, your wife had her accident at our company event. So of course I went to the hospital to go and visit her and apologize for what happened. And that was when she talked about the kind of idiotic things you've been saying to her. Well, I got upset that I asked Meg if I could borrow her phone and have a little word with you. Okay. I believe that it's really you, but I'm not really fired, right? I mean, you didn't really mean it when you said that, did you? Oh, I was very serious and I still am. I better not see you at work tomorrow. Now hold on just a second. Don't you think that's just taking things a little bit too far? I mean, this has to be illegal or something. I'm sorry. But after what I've learned about you, I just don't want to be working in the same office as you. But why? I didn't even do anything. It was my wife who caused the scene, not me. Are you really trying to pin this all on your pregnant wife? I can't believe that you would do that. How can you call yourself her husband? She should be the most important thing in the world to you. And this whole time you were just trying to use her to score points at the office. Tony, I'm sorry, but I don't think it's appropriate for you to be stepping into this matter. This is between my wife and I would appreciate your understanding. All that being said, please don't fire me. Well, if you'd like, we could take this matter to court and see what a judge has to say about your firing. But this isn't fair. You can't take me to... You're the one trying to fire me. And I'll make sure that the court knows exactly why keeping you around would be bad for the company. By the way, I wouldn't bother trying to visit your wife in the hospital. She's asking me to tell you that she never wants to see you again. Not only that, but she also wants to get a divorce as well. She's telling me to tell you that the next time you hear from her, it'll be through her lawyer. Have a nice life, Dan.
It wasn't long after that I went into labor, but I would never have guessed that I would be signing divorce papers as soon as it was born. I heard later from Tony that Dan was ultimately fired as well. During the divorce proceedings, I was able to get a hefty payment from Dan for the danger that he put our child and I in. He was also ordered to pay child support until our baby was an adult. Dan decided to settle the child support issue with one large payment. Apparently, he couldn't stand the shame of his family and office knowing what he had done. He wanted to get the divorce process over and done with as soon as possible. After it was all done and over, I never heard from Dan again. I know it'll be hard to raise this child on my own. Sometimes I wonder if it wouldn't have been better to stay with Dan. But then I think of what that would mean making my child grow up with. No matter what, I don't regret what I've done. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.